have fear. And it's the energy that seems to be very rampant. It's easy to jump on the bandwagon, especially if you are more the element of water. Elements, we are made up of them. If you were to learn information and try to gather as much as I can. So it depends on which dimension you're learning or thinking in. To the traditional Chinese, the Meridians, which is more of the Chinese traditional medicine, the more that I feel that I'm aligned with, and anybody that's going to come in contact with me that wants to be on this journey of healing as well. What does that even mean? It means that you have a chance to, tune in, do what you need to do to help yourself adjust yourself. So the element, there's fire, water. So you've got water puts out fire. Fire can chop wood or chop metal. Oh God, I can't even think. Hold on. I'm feeling somebody's scrambled energies. And that's the other problem. I want to educate you, but you got to understand, you pick up all these energies. And it's not only kicking people's energies out, but it is to also protect yourself. You have to build up a shell around you. And I'm not talking about get defensive. First of all, if you begin to feel scrambled and you're not scrambled, it's hard to tell without testing you whether it was you or somebody else. But if you are easily influenced by energies, not by words or anything like that, you will have to protect yourself a little bit, better than what you have been before. Okay. I will tell you that this central meridian, the very first one, if it's down, you'll feel vulnerable. If you have the tendency to feel very vulnerable, or if all of a sudden you start to go into this is where the thoughts can get very twisted and imbalanced. And this is where the commingling. You are one, but you're not meant to be energetically when you are creating this meat suit hologram. So the intermingling of energies, it doesn't mean that you entering in a space, whether you're by yourself, yes, even when you're miles away from people, you can pick up their energetic patterns if they're thinking about you, or if you're thinking about them, or if there is a collective consciousness of fear. With these light codes that are coming on more rampant, meaning Mother Earth is growing. Mother Earth is already saying, okay, kids, I'm going to send you to your room. That's it. Okay. Think about what you've done. Take and go to that next step. And while we're in that, it's not about having to be in fear of this pandemic. It is about resetting. Do you have to show up the same way all the time? Let's take advantage of this. Let's look at it a little deeper. And as you begin to do this, understand that fear, other people's emotions, other people's beliefs, other people's thoughts can influence you. It doesn't mean they have to control you. You just haven't discovered yourself yet. The very first thing that I would begin to tell you is you need to understand that back here is basically 2 points on the back of your head. That's where the hypothalamus is inside, but energetically, this is where the water element or fear can be. So the best part would be to hold here. And now I would turn my hand this way because you're talking about finding the neurovasculars. Okay, that's the blood flow. You may have heard of neurolymphatics. That is the lymphatic system. But neurovasculars is the blood flow. The blood flow is what you need when it comes to the brain. The frontal lobe is what creates reality. But remember, you have a right hemisphere and you have a left hemisphere. And when those are out of balance energetically, okay, understand I'm intentionally using these words on purpose. When they are out of balance, the more it is going to affect who you are. Now I have to stop for 1 second because I want to say, do we have volume? Your face, Amy, is trying to tell me something's not working. Is it just you? I'm there. Crystal Allen is on YouTube. So she's made it.
Yeah, that's why my face is like, what the heck?
Okay, all right. or you'll be controlled by your own self-talk thoughts, or when other people you're in space, I don't care if they're up close or far away, if you're thinking of them or they're thinking of you, or there's just a group consciousness, if you are in a state of that's what you want to focus on, that's what you fear, that's what you can't stop thinking about, then you're going to draw that to you as a magnetic pull. Okay? So, best example is this pandemic. This pandemic is in a world. So how can you spiritual health? Spiritual is that part of you that you have ego lessons, and it is ego trickery. It is what, it is all the things that we refuse to let go of. These are the patterns, these are the behaviors. This is, like, hey, I like being a bitch, therefore, but these energies do not help you to some degree. You want to move forward. You can have that attitude all you want. It doesn't matter. But if you want to move forward and be happier, you can't just have both sides. You have to learn how to integrate those parts of yourself. Physically, you are energy. If you understand that there's a simple things you can do, because it's your thinking. A lot of you have a lot of stinking thinking, and that affects the mental and emotional health. The idea of thinking, what other people are thinking, we have that RTJP in our head, which is the right temporal junction parietal lobe. And as we begin to run here and there with every thought about what are they thinking, what are we doing, da 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 da. And then when you're taking that information in and you're like, what idiots? Oh my God, are they stupid? Remember, you've taken the external, went through your filters, and it goes down into your first 3 chakras to find out what data information that you can associate with, how you normally would react, how much you reject it, how much you accept it, how much you believe it, where's your limitations. And you can tell your BS, your bullshit, your belief systems by the way you live your life. But we have to wake up because our hemispheres are out of balance sometimes. That's just the brain. But if we were to really look at how we are in ego or spirit mindsets, that throws you off too, because half the time you don't realize that your programs, your ego programs, learning how to come into terms with who they want to become and who they can't let go of. You have to kind of lose yourself to find yourself. And it's not about killing off anything. It's about resolving your issues that make you stay in this imbalance, this instability, this insecurity, this not safe. Okay? Because you had an incident. So this first part, you need to learn how to zip up. So you know how a zipper, you can put the things together and zip up. If you could learn to just take your energy out. Now, I wish I could muscle test. I wish I had a live body here, because somebody, if I were to look at Amy, I could just look down like this. She deliberately see my eyes look down. I could actually unzip her energy from here. And she's in Minnesota and I'm in South Australia. Now I'm going to zip that back up. So a lot of people I will see exposed, I will deliberately send the mirror out to zip them up. If they don't want it, and I'm not talking consciously, a mirror is showing them that you can be safe, showing them that you don't have to be so vulnerable and feel shame and being controlled by these influences because I have unresolved, and she'll let me. Yes, I could force my will on her, but then I'm going to create karma. I'm going to throw the balance of karma out. You want balanced karma. There's always going to be a cause and effect. So I'm not going to take and use her will inappropriately. That is not a healthy thing to do, okay? So when you allow yourself to understand that maybe your life is being controlled a lot by the outsides. Last night, I'm laying in bed and I'm getting ready to go to sleep, and all of a sudden, it was disgusting. It was like, oh my God, my body, having allergies attacks, my body's, and I'm like, okay. So I said, honey, I need your help. I said, so let's do source point healing. Source point self-healing is a tool that I think that a lot of you need to begin to use. I'm trying to put it in, I am putting it together in different formats, from PDF to videos to online classes to live classes. It's just taking a few minutes in time to do. Anyway, so he comes running over on the side. He goes, oh, okay. He says, what can we do? I says, well, the first thing we're going to do is what's called the triple warmer. And that is it is the first part of the what you call the emergency issue. So it's a fast aid. This is when your body is just going crazy. It is the triple warmer when it's just taking energy from every place, except for it can't take it from your heart. But it's just, we have to go into battle. It is, we have to start fighting against this. And I said, okay, so you have to learn how to muscle test if you're going to work with somebody else, but you have to do it with such delicacy as if they, don't really have a strong limb, but you can still tap into that energy field. So he did. He went and he says, okay, he knew the protocol. He knew what to ask. He knew what, the where to point and ask the body. And with the fast aid, because you ask a series, is it fast aid? Is it, or you can say emergency, whatever you want to do, because the body's the one that tells you, is this urgent maintenance? Does this need a, little balancing? So there's different ways to ask which category. Then you go into the next one. And so he did. He went, it was a triple warmer right off the bat, because my body just went into that instant, I'm going to, and my whole body just fell apart. One of the things as there becomes an issue. So he's like, oh, got to do this one. All right. He grabs the magnet. He starts working on my liver points. And then he went and he rubbed the liver points. And I could literally begin to feel how my body was, bang, 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 bang. So all of a sudden started to calm down. And we only did I think liver, then we went to pericardium, and then gallbladder. And then all of a sudden you'd swear I took a pill. It was like, oh. But there was still something that was very offensive. And I says, okay, so I went and then, there's something in the bedroom. Well, there was. Now, earlier I had something in the bedroom from the birds, and my body was like, I don't like to have any animals or anything in the bedroom when I'm trying to sleep. I'm aware, and it's about how we train ourselves. It's how our body checks the environment. So he removed it out, come back over. The triple warmer kicked off, but it wasn't as high as before. So then he wasn't the same route, but he balanced it. And then it was like, okay, good night, I'm going to sleep. And then felt great, woke up this morning. So there's a lot you can do. So as in the middle of the night, I could feel my husband overthinking. So my hand slaps on his forehead, and I hold the hope therapy point. And it was like, okay, all right, he doesn't snore, but he went to sleep. So then I'm like, okay, good, my turn. And then I went to sleep. And so it was, you have to get past that particular fear. But fear, again, if you can just begin to just even do this or this, that's fine. You have to learn how to understand that you need to bring blood back up so that it helps correct your magnetic and your electrical part of you. The frontal lobe is what creates reality. So if you're only pushing buttons that says I have to have low happiness, which is not enough oxytocin, serotonin, all of those chemical peptides, and you're replacing it with fear peptides and anger peptides and resentment peptides, and you're in the fight, flight, freeze, then stress, 80% of the blood will leave your forebrain, and it can't keep you healthy. Hemispheres. Wow. I've noticed that immediately when people go into, oh my God, sometimes you'll have a hemisphere drop and you can be manic and depressive, or you can show display of bipolar. You could do this. I mean, I was like, whoa, let me keep up with you. And so then it was, all right, this is what you hold. Because if you're having issues with left brain, then your meridian is divided in half. Okay, so the meridian is on both sides. They mirror each other because it's yin and yang. They mirror each other. So you have one liver, but two meridians. Right now. So I can imaginarily zip this up. Just don't forget that the other part is connects from the perineum and comes up your spine and then connects here. So you just kind of imagine that you're doing this, zip it up. You can put your finger here and then your belly button, push in and lift up to create the egg, and it connects those two. What happens is that if this is down or weak or have holes or whatever, you got to understand what's happening. One of the things that's happening is because your shield is down, you can be exorbitant. You can be like a sponge and it will influence you. I was driving down the road and it's like, why the heck do I feel like I want to be angry, get road rage? And I realized that my governing meridian was down, going in the wrong direction. So I started to practice with my mind. I could literally begin to feel like somebody had touched me. And I started to practice with that. And then I would get really jumpy. Well, I noticed that I got this one protection, but I forgot this one. So I got to experiment with both parts of me about whether they work or not. Okay. So the first thing is that if you are having any issues, you need to balance your fear. Step one, get that blood back up into the forebrain and imagine that you're start the perineum back in front. You're drawing this egg, and then locking it. Only you have the key. Okay. You can just kind of imagine doing them at the same time. If you feel like that's not enough, and when you're done, do this anyway. Finger and belly button and forehead, push and lift up. Okay. So now I'm hoping that it doesn't freeze. My picture here looks like I'm frozen. Just want to make sure everybody else can see me. I don't see anybody saying there's anything wrong, so that's good there. I just have been frozen on a face and I haven't seen me move, so I can't tell if there's lag time or not. Of course, there's always going to be lag time. But you got to remember, everybody is doing social distancing. More people are at home. And the internet's going to be stressed. So that depends on if you have too many apps open, that can stress your phone. And that's a sign. If you have too many things going on at once inside of you, too many thoughts. So you have to really pay attention if you're using your phone. Like I had to shut down Alexis. I had to shut down. I had a particular camera that I wasn't using, but it was using almost all my data. So I had to shut that down. And it's like, doggone it. And if you're one of the things with the camera I had, the GoPro, is that not only because it uploaded the video, but it didn't upload the video to delay. And believe me, it took, and it says, oh, you don't have enough data to run your phone. I'm thinking, are you joking? So I had to remove some programs. I had to remove some pictures. That's what we do with sensory accessing. A lot of you have seen me do that. I've had to remove some videos because videos take up more space. These are the motion pictures. These are the things you plan in with your head. These are the things that inside of you can't stop thinking about. This is fear. This is the stuff that's always trying to get your attention. You can help it not get caught up. Now, again, I had just zipped up, and now I'm having another particular issue because I need to explain the governing meridian. This meridian needs to come forward. It comes in that direction. It governs the meridian. So when you're done, you should literally make sure you are zipped up, especially in this day and age because of all the things that are changing. And a lot of them are hooked to past experiences, a particular habit. So as I walked out of the house yesterday, just to walk down the road, I was like, oh my God, I went into paranoia. Did I leave the stove on? I haven't even turned the stove on, that day, but my mind was going right into extreme fear. Did I leave my curling iron on? Did I do this? Did I do that? Now, why? Because I've had past experiences of fires and losing all my stuff and, there goes precious, so there are things. Now, what's funny is that I couldn't understand why when I'm here in South Australia, in Surrey Downs, as soon as I go for long trips or even short trips, I immediately get this paranoia. And I wasn't even catching the fact that it was paranoia. My husband says, honey, I think that's paranoia you're saying. It is not. Okay, your ego takes offense. Wait a minute. What does this sound like? Even my ears are tricking me. And I says, what did I say? And he said that, and I go, oh, that is paranoia. Where the heck's that coming from? So I started to notice that when we have bushfires that are close, there is a lot of paranoia. Well, it lingers. It lingers because what is the one thing that becomes paranoia about when I leave here? It's about fire. I thought it was just my old way of being, but no, I'm picking up. So like I said, I'm driving down the road, my governing meridian's down. I will pick up people's fears. And if this one's down, then I feel very vulnerable. Now I'm shaking. And you talk about the blood flow not going to my brain. I'm stressed. I'm owned by this. I've had to really work on understanding it, healing it, I can't be bothered today. I'm a mess. And then I'm like, yes, I can be bothered. It was the worst for me because it was like the moment I'm standing in my house trying to get my daughter ready for school, and I'm freaking out, not knowing because I didn't turn the TV on. I didn't watch TV in the morning. We had music, or we had kids freaking out. I'm like, seriously, oh my God. And I mean, it was the worst experience then trying to get onto the bus because I was writing the mental and emotional issues. Some of you don't even have those. You're picking up on the frequency of other people's thinking. So that day it was such a wave, a sonic boom wave that had come across the world that I fell apart, but I kept trying to hold it together. But my daughter was fully aware of it. All the kids could feel, everybody was feeling it. And then when I found out what happened, I went deaf. It was temporary, but it was deaf. And it was like, oh my God, I can't hear. And then it was like, I could feel me, my consciousness. I reject this reality. I reject this reality. I reject this reality. Yes, we have ability to reject realities. Oh my God. And I went in the bathroom. I said, well, it makes more sense of what's happening to me, but how do you make it stop? Because now it's not just me. It's get ahead of it so I can get a hold of it. And it was like I had to learn all these tools. And finally, then I was good. I was in my home. I had started learning how to use the tools, and then I would forget about them. And then again, we have no value, so we don't think about it. You'd swear it was an emoji that was changing, I was like, holy mother. And so I pulled over. I says, okay, told my husband at the time, you drive. I says, I'm falling apart because I can't stop to figure out. And I was so, and then all of a sudden I heard Spirit says, okay, get your shit together, girl. Put your hand on your forehead and your belly button. And I'm like going, oh my God, 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 oh my God. And then they said, and they go, no. I'm like, there's no paper bag. But you learn the value of certain things. And so now it's like, as soon as I become aware, I don't have to lose it so that I have to fear that I can't get ahead of it. I can take care of it right when my body goes ding, ding, ding. Wait, what? I don't have to jump up and be fearful. It's just part of the nature of who I am. Learning the source point self-healing so that you can learn to get a handle of it. Now, there is a group that Spirit says we're going to do, and this is a membership-only group, and it's only going to cost $23 a month. And we have that because we're coming into a new world. They have learned to look at life differently, not only look at it, but use the tools, get themselves out of the dark night of the soul, get there. It's not pretty. They know it, but they're learning it. We're moving out of just being an ego human. We're changing the matrix to make a better model, a healthier model. And the only way that I know how to do this is listen to Spirit about how it's done. So not only will we have this group where you could rely on and say, hey, if you want to take a class, they could tell you about it. Or you've taken the class and you're like, I'm still confused. Listen to my throat. There's still a bonding of this tribe. So look for it is coming, Medicine Woman Solution Tribe. And it is coming. So again, you get for 30 days, you get support. You don't get a bunch of free healings. Don't think of that, oh, I'm just going to go on there and dump all my shit. No, they're going to help you understand that, okay, let's look at it differently. They're not counselors. That's not what they're there for. They're there for you to help you understand metaphysically to what is, can you look at it this way? Can you see another perspective? They're helping you become this understanding that spirituality is what you want to learn. Ego is what you want to get out of. You are understanding more. And so somebody will say, if you like saying, oh, I'm dying, they may say, flip it word, cancel, because we are helping the universe say, wait a minute. Yeah, I understood. I don't need to put that spell out. Cancel. It's helping you get out of the ego mindset. And sometimes we just, well, what about this? Why can't we? That's a lot of times questioning is great. It helps you change, but it can also keep you in your health. So bye-bye health. Exactly. Hello, spirit and happiness. Yes, because you're going to learn to set the goal to happiness. It doesn't have to be anything else, just happiness. And your soul is always learning to talk to you. It's always saying, do you want to heal this now? Can you heal this now? And if you don't understand all of that, then, you can end up being in this life of hell. And heaven and hell are states of mind. And we are all one. So we are learning to maneuver ourselves in this new energetic earth. And you're choosing deliberately to choose love, to go in and connect with those pieces of yourself, bring and heal yourself together. You need to be it. And as you begin to look at yourself, put yourself in the hot seat, look at the uglies, look at that shadow and realize it's not as scary as you think. Less defensive attitudes. You won't have to say, put them up, and always be angry. You don't have to say, cry and say, look at me, I want some attention. You don't have to play these games. You can just begin to gather your energies back. You can begin to balance yourself because you'll learn about spiritual debt. You'll learn about energetically because I'm paying attention to what spirit wants me to pay attention to. So there's a lot you can do. You do not have to be a victim. We're learning how to transform out the archetype. The 4 archetypes, we're learning to balance them. We all have the 4 archetypes. The child of many variations. And then there is the prostitute. How many times have you sold yourself short to please others or make people happy, or they gaslit you, or they convinced you, or great happiness, but happiness means getting out of those ego programs. Like, in order for me to be where I needed to be, there was a part of me that had to learn how to talk and not be afraid and not go into my ego programs and my excuses and my reasonings. Oh, I don't know how to eloquently speak. People aren't going to like me. People don't like me before. I didn't need to gather proof. I didn't need to. As I began to heal myself, then all of a sudden, the thing that you're afraid of is not even something to be afraid of. It becomes second nature. And you're like, get out of the way. I got this. You literally begin to develop and to grow past your arrested developments, past your self-imposed limitations, past the ages. Your 2-year-old self is still running the show. You help heal that 2-year-old self. You don't spank it, put it in the room. It was already in hell. Ain't gonna make any difference. But if you go in and you do the self-love, you learn how to do it on a healthy. Sounds complicated. Now, I've been doing this for many, many years, and my clients would come to me, and then their life would begin to change, and they want more. Then my students appear, and then they want more. And then they became a non-judgmental space. That non-judgmental space is where you can all of a sudden realize you don't have to be vulnerable or any of this, is that you learn how to be authentically vulnerable. And that's because you've healed a lot of shit, or you're learning to transform by putting new information in your mind that can help you all of a sudden have more safeguards, and you look at things differently in a healthier way for you, finding healthier alignment. And then all of a sudden you can start making authentic connections. And you begin to see life in such a unique way that take the wisdom with you, and you can start resolving to evolve. Okay. Fear. Just remember, zip up. Put your hands here if this is what's happening. There's a lot of other things you can do, because sometimes you're like, but that's not working. Well, sometimes you have to get ahead of the issue. Sometimes you have to allow spirit, say, okay, thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. Get me out of this. Yes, that's a healing tool. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, spirit. Get me out of this. Because there'll be times you'll be like, I can't handle it. I can't do it. Just thank you, spirit. And I just imagine that I'm taking the color and giving it to God or source, whoever it is you choose. And I'm just letting it go. You're like, yeah, I got this. The physical body needs your attention. So that's where you rub certain points. You draw certain places. You clean out the lymphatics, moves the lymphatic system. It does not have a pump. You can eat the right foods, use the right chemistry to help balance the alkaline inside your body. But most of the people that I run across is their meridians are stuck. The points are stuck. And if you don't know how to make those move, you're going to be the victim of your own circumstances. What? Hey, Kevin. Now, how this makes this work is if you get it out there to more people, help thoughts to gratitude, awe, and wonder. We, I gotta say, see more. We are each, oh, come on. It won't let me see it. We are each, Amy, it won't let me see what Betty wrote. Let's see if she can get it. Let's see if she can get it. But anyway, go ahead.
We are each worth it.
Yes, worth it. We are. Oh, and that's the thing. I'm trying to get everybody to understand they're worth it. We all are. If you could see the beauty of the soul I see, if we are already all love, everybody deserves love. Everybody is love. We just have not remembered how to do the love. We know how love equals hell. Love equals a condition. Love equals, fear. But love equals love. You have not experienced that. I don't even think I've really fully experienced it. You can do a lot and you can begin to recover, but it's when you get caught up in those hells that drive your ass over the edge where you can't get ahead of it. And that is where we have to help you. This is a lot of times where people make a point, you can start to stay ahead of where you need to go. Now, during this time, I'm hoping you actually sent a 1-minute read in. That would be great. Then I can know how to help. If you have paid for a healing, you are more than welcome to do so. Reading, however you choose to do it, that is available. I'm going to double check and make sure nobody has already done that. Because if you pay, you get expedited, you get attention first. Now, cleverly enough, my email is updating. So I can't get to see if any, oh yeah, there's another way. See, Spirit says, and always ask twice or 3 times. You'd be amazed how the answer can come in. So, anybody that has paid, we'll just go that route. I would love to hear your stories to how you had a turnaround time. I would love to know a little what you need to do and how to do things. Okay, so nobody else has paid. Oh, that's fine. There's so much to learn, but you use them in small doses. You build upon each other, and before you know it, you can get somewhere. One time, okay, so when you know how it is to be poor. Well, my sister got a job one time, and she hated going without it. And then she did it for a month, and she says, okay, got enough socks. Now I'm into underwear. And so then she would buy a couple pair of underwear, and then a month's time she had socks and underwear. And then she would go out, and then she would buy maybe a shirt every week. And before you know it, her closet but she bought them in such small increments that she couldn't tell that it hurt her budget or her paycheck. And before you know it, she had a house, her room was full of all of clothes and all the things that she needed for every occasion. And she'd done it in such small doses. So it is that building upon. We have to heal the need that we have to get it immediately because we want immediate services. But we forgot the ability to change ourselves, that we can adapt. We can. So one of the beautiful things you can see from this pandemic is people are learning how to connect in a different way. We were in zombie land where we were just hooked into our phones and our devices, and we would get together and we would do certain events, but would we really connect? Would we really, connect on a spiritual level? We went to the room and told them to think about what you've done and to, and the other thing is that, like, for instance, have you ever felt like Stephen King has wrote the next series of what we're doing, or did a child jump in and write in, okay, we're smiling next minute, now we can't touch, okay, let's, it was just, who comes up with this stuff? But sometimes we have to set back and we have to take in a reset. We have to allow ourselves to understand what we're doing with our emotion, where are we going with it, and how we're doing it. Okay. So have we had any 1 minute reads?
Three.
Let's take the first one.
Megan.
Anything specific?
Timer.
Oh, good point. Okay. So it's just a regular read. As I'm tuning in, Spirit is saying, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Well, in this aftermath of all these things, what am I supposed to do? And there's a lot of energy, of wailing energy, changing the way that our frequency is. How interesting. As I'm looking, I says, well, what is the cause of it that's happening here? And it says is that the ego part of people seem to be making the energy make it small. And I says, well, what else? And they said that it causes us. And they go, well, I would label it bullying. And I said, okay. And they said that I'm learning to find that I am just as important, and I'm not you, and you're not sure how to get out of it. You learn to start pulling your power back. Okay. You learn to start gathering yourself up. If you feel like a bully's in your space, you may want to go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com and look for healing tool. And under the healing tool, look for picking yourself up or cord switching. And it's time to get your power back and understand you are frequency. Help you and change your frequency so you become stronger. You don't need to call that person in to repeat a particular story. You get to start to find more balance. And then that'll give you the strength you need to do whatever it is, to make boundaries, whatever you have to do. Next.
Crystal Allen.
Hi, Crystal. How are you? Okay, what did she say?
Can you scan my house for me, please? So my cat died last week, and we had an earthquake last week for the first time.
Understand that as I look at your house, your external environment is telling you that your inner world is creating your outer world. Your inner world says you have some deep fears. You've had your life, I want to say, has been rocked by a lot of abuse that you've had in the past. And what happens is, even though you don't remember half of it, the other half that you do remember is that you have to kind of like look for if it's coming. Look for it to hurt you, looking for it to do this. Understand it is in the program itself that causes you to draw particular things to come into your space. And it is the memories that need to be resolved out. The biggest memory that you need to pull out happens to be when you were 24 or 23. And they said that was such a bad one, that it was you stored the pain very deep into the body. And one of the things it did is it's now caused you to create a spiritual lesson. And when that does this, it has your body is like, see, it's not your autonomic nervous system. It is left hemisphere, right hemisphere. What are we doing? Your frontal lobe is stuck on overwhelm. So because your frontal lobe creates your reality, I'm going to find out how much blood actually goes there. So when these particular things begin to happen, your blood goes into fight, flight, freeze, but you can't create reality. But when you do create it, you're recreating it, because if you were to pay attention to how you're looking at it, you're going to determine by just the direction of your eyes, if you really pay attention to it, that the right, if your eyes were going into the right direction. I am, she is, okay, Kevin, I'm not sure exactly who you're talking to. Flying to Kevin. We have a conversation there. But yeah, she is very susceptible to the energy. So that doesn't help. And same for me, I can pick it up. Now, somebody has a dry cough, but that's based out of fear that they may have corona. Now, there's somebody's actually watching that thinks they may have it. And they have a lot of fear happening right now that needs to be addressed. Okay, Ames, what's the next one?
Patty, she wants a card.
All right, Miss Patty. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to look at something in particular. This is going to be different, and Patty's been with me for a while, so we're going to do something very interesting. What's going on with the yin aspect of you is that it is the yin aspect of you says it's time to act upon your plans. Creativity is rewarded, a luxurious abundance and resources. The yang part of you is saying that it doesn't have what it takes. There's a part of you that is in conflict. So your yin and yang is in conflict. And if I asked a little bit further, my cards, of course, out there, is that we boil it down to the Chariot, which is determination and self-control, career advancement, acknowledgement of success by others. Okay, so you literally have one half that's telling you to act, another part of you says no, and you have determination and self-control. So you can use that determination and self-control to get somewhere, or you can say use determination and self-control to control my circumstances with the ego and still get the same result. So you have to pay attention to what particular outcome do you really want. If you want one thing and your program says you can't because there's another problem going on, then you're going to those. One of the things that I would tell you to even begin to do would be to understand that this is my pattern. I'm living through others. I kind of rely on them giving me information so that I can decide what I want to do. And then it makes me angry. You got to pay attention to how those egos are constructed. I did a wonderful reading, and I'm not sure how to offer it, except for the fact is it is the yin and yang. What are they doing? The two halves of you. Where are you at in limbo? It helps you agendas. Okay, so Amy, who's next?
Angela Allen.
Miss Angela. Okay, so we're going to look, Angela, your yang side of you says, all right, I'm done doing solutions. I don't want to do this. So your yang side's taking a back burner, and your inside is saying that, pulled one, but two came out. Your yin side says, no way. Your yin side is that I am committed to having romantic relationships. I love the idea of this balance of love. But the yin says, but I also have the issues that I can't take actions. And if you can't take actions, and then your yang side is that I don't want to do something. Understand, yin and yang needs to work in harmony. You can have all the ideas in the world, but if you can't execute them, which is yang, then there's going to be a setback. And that's what they're saying is there's something to do with, I'm not saying holding back. It's what you do towards yourself. And
Vicky.
Miss Vicky. Ow. Okay, so my earring. What is this? The right side of my body? Yeah. Okay. Interesting enough, Vicky. Part of your ego says, my left side says that I I don't really know if I have enjoyed getting the epiphanies I want. And the left side, and again, what are we doing? The left is that female. So say yin or yang, please. Yang says that epiphanies, and the yin side it says, okay, this is a very good, interesting dilemma one because they're both in reverse. Your inner child, your yang side, okay, so you have been relying on your inner child to make you feel alive. That's joking. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you are getting ready to transform into a higher aspect of yourself. And the inner child wants to work on that. It has to take the blame. And the inner child became a comedian because it did not know how to handle when people would throw their blame at you. Now, before we go any further, Vicky, you have to learn to be the magician. You can manifest the life you want. What you need will magically appear. But your inner child is controlling the outcome at this point because you're looking at the comedic style of yourself. And you don't want to draw in the negativity. And you haven't quite tapped into the magic of life yet. And so then it gets confusing about what epiphanies you get in your direction. But they're saying take care of the little child. Now, Amy, what's going on with you?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I physically can't do this anymore. So you are going to have to come on, yes or no?
Sure.
I mean, I'm falling apart and I'm trying to hold myself together. And okay. So Amy, were you this way before the show started?
No, I was fine until, I don't know, probably 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, got overwhelmingly sad.
Okay, so overwhelmingly sad is how she's defined it. And then if you wanted to measure it on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being Holy Mother of God, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So as I'm tapping into this, understand that she is going through something in particular. Now, we're going to have her do source point self-healing, and then we'll see how that works. Because if you're in a situation, you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? Now, she's trying to help run the show, pay attention, all these things, but then this shit comes in and starts hitting the fan on her, and she's like, seriously? Now, she's a mess. Emotionally, I'd say don't muscle test, but she's going to tap in that energy that I'm going to do source point healing on herself. So first of all, take your arm and see if you can get an indicator. Just push down and see if it's strong. Good. Now you're going to look up and see an X. And then you're going to see a tiny bit of homolateral. Now, normally I would say we could just breathe and go there and to recorrect her stress and balance her heart, but that's not where her body wants to go. So I'm asking, is it a triple warmer? And it's a triple warmer, which means she needs fast aid. So in this case, I want you to just hold this and just say count. I want you to take the triple warmer and count. And don't be surprised if it goes past 10.
8.
Okay, so I'm going to double check her. Her triple warmer is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See, so it's tricking you into thinking everything's fine, which tells me that you have been convincing yourself for many, many years. So your high tolerance to certain things, understand what I mean? So your divine blueprint, you've created a new one. And so that's your new normal. So we're going to go through along the highway. Small intestine. So again, I want you to take the small intestine and see if you can, if you say small intestine, do I need to rub this source point? And yes is strong and no is weak.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to, if we were to look at small intestine, understand that the way we're going to measure this is that
7, 8, 9, 10.
The moment it starts to cave in, understand that's where you stop counting. Okay. So we know it's about 6 or 7. So now you know where your small intestine is. You're going to rub this point right here. Remember how emotionally shit you felt like? Is that sore or is it okay?
It's sore.
Okay, so you were thinking, you were completely sad. What was the story about? This is not even me.
There was no story. It just all of a sudden.
Understand your body's consciousness knows the story, and when you have nothing that seems to trigger you, your body consciousness is, what time is it?
8:30, so it was probably about 8 o'clock.
So 7 to 9 is the, at night, 7 to 9, let me look for it, is the circulation sacs, or the pericardium. So this is the sac that's around the heart, and the small intestine has to do with feeling lost, vulnerable. In this case, for her, it is to be something. I want to be something that people can love. Wow. There's a whole bunch of things that are happening. Because then it's like, I think you judged yourself. When you were starting the show, doing all this, was there complications or anything? And did you feel like you were messing up me? Did you judge yourself in any way? All I'm hearing is, fail me now, fail me now. And it's like looking at yourself going, don't fail me. But you know that, oh, you've done it before. You've done it before. You're doing it again. So now there's a part of you that's feeling like, okay, I've caused Brenda to be upset. Okay, so when I started the show, I could hear myself. I think then you judged yourself at that point. Did you hear that sound come on and you forgot to mute and whatever to build up? And that's when I saw your face, because you're starting to, like, what is she doing? What's going on? Now, by me saying you want to show up good, you want to be worth keeping around. So when you were growing up, did you help your mom or your dad and do things so that they would keep your, did they want us to send you out and say, no, don't, you can't be here, or go find something else to do?
Usually, yeah.
Okay, so that sounds like a normal thing for all of you, but understand, she came inside the womb and was rejected by reality, rejected by the mother. That first particular incidences that she chose of this life. She's been carrying that forward because these are unresolved stories from the past. So this just happens to be catching this, it's catching up with her. Okay. Now, there you go. So as we look at her, you're rubbing these points, but are you still as sad?
No, not as sad, no.
No. And I'm seeing that. So now I want you to take and measure your small intestine. Is it nice and strong? Let me know.
It's good.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you to look up CNX, CN11. Now it's completely frozen. Now she needs to do due to herself when she judged herself. Okay, first she judged. She's looking and saying, oh, I am looking at her response. So do you look at me to tell you if you're good or bad?
Unconsciously, I think so.
Yeah. Being lost and vulnerable. And when you are around, there's a part of you that feels lost and vulnerable. How do I do it? Oh my God, I'm going to get attacked. And it's not even about attacked. It's about, I'm not going to get that love. She's not going to look at me. She's not going to smile at me. She's going to pay compliments to other people. She's not going to do that to me. Do you understand? It's the little part of you. So what did the little part of you do? It said, oh, look it, I've done something wrong. Do you feel like you've done something wrong? Do you do that thought process in your head a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. Understand that that's the little self. As the spiritual being, it is, where did I lose power? Where did I start believing that? Why did I need to start believing that? And usually you'll find that program about impending doom, I'm going to lose the love, da 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 da. And then you got the freaking pandemic going on out there, the collectiveness of the consciousness that says impending doom. Okay, it's changed from last week. It was, there's not going to be enough food, that what I've got is over, it's done, that's it, I'm going to die. This week, the energy is, hey, okay, sure, I got to do social distancing And now I can feel people not feeling like they're getting that oxytocin, the hugs, the love. They're not producing that joy. I feel like more sadness seems to be overwhelming because it's like we're going to have to endure the impending doom that this is what's going to happen. What is our new world? Because I'm not sure what the United States is doing, except for the fact is that money issues, social issues, so, and that doesn't help. Now I'm going to ask you, have you been feeding your brain unnecessary, unhealthy, get it, what is forced in your face so you have to see it? If anybody's shown up, has anybody complained about it? Does anybody keep bringing it up? And you can't, so it's like a slip of the tongue. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, babe. What?
The guy 7 miles out of town.
Okay. What particular phrase was used or that seemed to be stuck?
Well, he was complaining that he couldn't get toilet paper today when he was at work.
Factory, and we have toilet paper at the wazoo. We still running around half crazy saying we can't buy it. But people are learning how to, everybody else is helping each other over here to some degree and I know in Adelaide area, that energy is, okay, we're putting limitations. Everybody gets to have some toilet paper and making sure that everybody gets their share of love, help, and hope. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what's happened there, except for why did that bother you? Because you've heard it on the news, you've heard it from friends, family, wherever. Why did that bother you? Because of, just from him. Why?
Because he doesn't understand.
Okay, but the point is, did you feel blamed? Did you feel the energy that you couldn't make it stop?
Yeah, he like puts the blame on me for everything.
Okay, so now notice your real mother, or it was the grandma, how far back is it going to go? And they said the first time that you started taking the blame on was 4 months inside the womb. So your 4-month-old is running the show when he's around. Now the 4-month-old, do you think the 4-month-old, you may not be able to get ahead of it because just the thought of him coming sometimes can put you into a state of,
oh yeah.
Okay, well, understand your 4-month-old couldn't cope with it. Just what the hell to protect yourself was to take and live in, I have to protect myself, so I have to put myself in panic, or I have to, so you use that as a coping tool. Okay, and what did it do? Did it affect your safety? Not too much. It affected your security. So if he feels insecure and you feel insecure, which is the mirror, and then you start making friction there, you're going to then becomes a stability. If he's not able to stand, so if is running around feeling he's unstable, or this emotion is going on and this is his world and all this, you are married, you're looking for support. If you inside the womb were not feeling stable and your mother part was not feeling stable, and then you come here in an adult and you're looking for stability and you mirror feels and you need to, so that's why the urgency that I have to be something. For you to him is that I have to be his, to give support, because I didn't really feel I have it. I will be there to give him support. That's how you guys started out in a relationship. Willingly in that relationship. Now it is, I can't tolerate that energy. I really don't know how to cope with it, because what you really were bringing in was that 4-month-old when you first got together. Okay. It's still playing out. And there's a part of you that just feels this, I have to abuse myself. It's my fault. Therefore, you take on the blame. For instance, you thought you had muted it and then that happened. You're over there freaking because oh shit, here I did it again. Not intentionally, but I'm screwing up because that's also what they expect of me. Can you see how there's just snowballs?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what emotion is coming over you now?
Overwhelm.
Okay, that's exactly what happened to the child. What you did to that with that overwhelm is that you had to make sure nobody knew it. So you took it in. You took it in. You didn't know what to do with it. But so you couldn't stop it. You couldn't protect it. You couldn't put up a healthy boundary. Your arrested development is you take it in, you take it in, you take it in. So far, your dark night of the soul is, so you have healed up to that point. So good job. Yes, it's still not pretty. So sorry. But that's what's happening. Okay. So inside of you, it discourages me greatly. And I'm losing the one thing I want. And the one thing that's going to make you whole is connection. And that's for everybody. But you can literally feel yours starting to, oh my God, and you can't help but to go impending doom, blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? So what did you do toward yourself? It must have been, so the overwhelm came in and you think that's yours. You think that's what you've done to yourself. And you don't know how to make that overwhelm stop. They're saying that what meridians are causing the overwhelm is triple warmer and large intestine. So it is a series of such. It's like when your ego is, okay, so your spirit's looking through the ego lens, electromagnetic ego, okay? Looking through the lens, and it's like, oh, what? And you're stuck there. You're stuck on this 4-month-old thing where the energy has hit you, and you're like, what? And you don't know what to do, but it's overwhelmed. You can identify your overwhelm. You know how that really works. But your body says it created instability and it created insecurity. And what does it do? It says that I can't let that go. Oh God. Oh my God. It happened. It happened. It happened. It happened. Yes, it happened. Your 4-month-old had an experience. Now, interestingly enough, is this even yours? No.
I'm guessing no.
It is your mother, your host. Oh my God, I'm pregnant. Oh my God. Having to explain it to parents. What's going on? My body says the cough is that I just want to bark back at the world and I have to figure out how to suppress myself. I don't want anybody to hear me. I don't want anybody to take notice. And then I get all this inner crying that's going on. And I'm broadcasting myself. What have you done? What have you done? What have you done? Taking the blame. Okay. I want you to get your mental out this 10 times, but I need you to write down prenatal conception, particular mortification. That usually mortification is that deep, deep shame. Now understand what's happening is that, yes, there you go. She already knows. What is she doing? She already knows what to do because we've done this enough. So she knows that she uses the magnetic to roll out that phrase I gave her, the equation, out of the governing meridian, because this is where the governing meridian, see, governing comes from the perineum up the back and hooks here. But if she's going to take and intentionally focus and roll it out, then she has more of a chance to start to restabilize her, because there you go. You're getting there. I can feel the shift already. We're complicated beings, but we're not when we have the right tools. There's another shift. Very good. So you can imagine what kind of particular outcome that she's having energy shifts. And a particular outcome, we all do it, all children, all humans, everybody does it. And children will show you the most. I don't want to go to school, okay? And they can have they'll do self-preservation. They'll go and hit I don't care what you do. Beat me if you want. I am not going, Sometimes we hold on a particular outcome. Now, her particular outcome, it could be that she couldn't stop blaming herself. Kind of, what did you just show? What did she show during the beginning of the show? Well, you couldn't see her, but now I got to figure out what this cough is. This has to do with my environment. This is me responding to it? No, my environment is responding to me. My environment is controlling me. My environment, gotcha. All right, so this is a habit. So the environment controls you. You are more, I think Kevin said it. Are you susceptible? Say the word, susceptible. Got it.
The ball.
Successful to things. Yes, because in this case, the reason that you are is that you have to live through others. Intentionally at 4 months old. Yeah, that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but I have to be something. Now, what are her mothers chanting? I wanted to be something. I have to be something. I can't be pregnant right now. And you can't blame the mother because Jesus, she was just I don't know how old she was, but she was in a state. She was what?
I think she was 22.
Okay. And it could be scary as F to, you know, and all her dreams are changed. And it isn't about blaming the child, is that it is what's going on with that woman in the moment. But there's consciousness and intermingling that happens. Now, this cough has to do with the broadcast message that to yourself is that you have to yell at yourself. You have to bark at yourself. You have to constantly give you that self-talk. Amy, what the fuck did I do now? Oh God, now she's going to do this. Does that? Okay, she's shaking her head. Yes, that means you have an incredible, you now have to pay attention. How sarcastic are you to yourself? How demeaning are you yourself? Denigrating yourself? What do you freaking say to yourself? You know, sometimes you're going to have to announce that out loud and put it into a recorder or write it down, but you've got to begin to hear what it's saying to you. It's like, and the importance of this, just let me understand this, okay? Like, I'll be so hooked up and doing things that my body has to pee, okay? Yeah, I register, I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah, whatever. Then all of a sudden, I'll be in the middle of doing this. Okay, I gotta pee. And then it's come out of my mouth that I'm like, yeah, I'm fully aware of it. Nope, gotta get back to work. And all of a sudden, it's like, man, I really gotta go. And my body's like, she still ain't getting out of the damn chair to go pee. Should we make her wet herself? Make her sneeze. Cute. Oh, God damn it. Now I got to go shake. Why? Well, my body was telling me to the point, even making me say things out loud, and I'm still ignoring myself. Amy, do you ignore yourself? Amy, do you believe the stories you tell yourself? Amy, do you think that voice in your head is God and that it is right? Like, oh my God, I'm going to get, but it is looking for praise. So you're over there going, look, I stacked the books up and they're about ready to fall. But you're like, look, I did it, you know? And then your mom comes running back. Oh, well, you don't know, but that's not the praise you wanted. You did a good job. To you, you did a good job. To the mother, she's trying to make sure those books don't fall on you, or, we don't know. But how do we see it? So you are always constantly, without you knowing, I know I'm watching you and you're watching me. You're constantly looking to see if I accept or reject you in every second. Well, wait a minute. That's what I want. So can you feel that? Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when he comes in the morning, and I didn't know whether it was for me or for somebody else, but it was, liver is looking for support and it doesn't have its buddy anymore. And I'm like, gallbladder's missing. My liver doesn't have support. Now it has to go it alone. And it's now told it has to support. And if you understand the wood element, it helps support the fire element. In the fire element, there's 2 organs and 2 systems. That's 4 things that it has to help support. Without gallbladder, it has to do it alone. Now, that's an organ. But in truth, I feel sometimes I have to do things alone. So that's my issue. I feel like that's you too. But understand, going back to Meridians, the Meridians is still there. You just have to get that Meridian to be more active so that, and then if you change more of your belief system, it'll change the frequency so that the Meridian can start supporting the liver, and the liver can support the Meridian, and those 2 can support the fire, and blah, blah, blah. But what are you not getting? Okay. So you know that you have to support. You can support. Kidney is controlled by fear, and bladder is controlled by, they're both controlled by fear. But you got the bladder is about what do you do with your will? Do you have paralyzed will? If you don't have the energy to move forward, then that energy can't go to support liver or gallbladder. And if you're in fear, that energy is wound up there. It can't support gallbladder and liver. Do you understand? So your whole energies in your body are freaking off. Now, in this world out here, people helping each other. We're sent to our room to get a timeout so we can learn how to play with ourselves, learn how to connect it to spirit without going bored. People are saying cabin fever. Are you sitting there in fear? Are you doing these things? If you can begin to understand that your inner world needs you, helping each other, nobody's looking inward to help themselves and connect to that energy, because our cells are made all these energy lights. But if we're denigrating, we're turning off the lights. If we're stressing ourselves, we're turning off the light. If we are choosing to reject reality and just live in the overwhelm, and now it's you can't get ahead of it, understand you are affecting the light in your body. You are affecting who you are. So Amy, part of your homework, part of your healing tool is that you may have to just turn the camera on and just start allowing yourself to be so real you forget it's on, and you just start bitching out loud, wailing out loud, whining out loud. What the words are you using? God, why don't you just look at me? Why, I've already healed. Can't you see that? I'm doing everything I can. What excuses? What reasonings? What self-justification? What hells? What? And that may not be pretty, But at the same time, you don't need to judge and go, my God, and cry and go deeper into hell. You can just go, you mean this tape's been running all this time? All right, where's the button to make it stop? How can I disrupt that strategy? How do I change that pattern? And you have tools to do just that. So the next time you hear yourself denigrating, go find a source point. Balance yourself, support yourself, get you to support yourself. Okay? Mm-hmm. If you can't do that, this is a great tool. The OMG is a great tool to begin to help you control the chemical peptides so that you won't keep feeding. Because these chemical peptides should be about serotonin. It should be about oxytocin. It should be all about those wonderful chemical peptides that make you feel good. What's this about? Liver. Oh, and because you have all these nasty thoughts, you got to learn what LR3 is, that liver point at the bottom, on the top of your feet, right there. Get in there and rub those effers. Electromagnetic balance will be effed up. So you may have to get a magnet. Now, if a magnet's too strong, fine, use a crystal. A beautiful thing you can do is that I will take an actual crystal, and sometimes the energies, if you can handle it, depending on energetic energies, you can get, I can't remember the name of this crystal is. Sometimes pure crystals, I can't remember the name of this crystal, but anyway, our bodies can handle it. And sometimes just allowing yourself to use a crystal. That's why there's a special, if you could get these, you can make a bottle one. Your body actually is okay with certain magnets, certain crystals to help balance certain things in the body. Then there is the stones and things like the Soultion. If you don't have the tools, use your hand. See, now all of a sudden she's rubbing those points because she can do it on her big toe onto that one or her heel or whatever. And her energy is shifting greatly. So Kevin says, delete that email. My question has changed as a result of what I'm learning from this. Woohoo! A Lemurian crystal could work. Any crystal could work intentionally, but I just can't remember the name of this. This is a particular regular crystal that you would find. Crystal glasses, certain notes. I cannot remember. Hopefully I'll remember the name of it. But so there's a lot of things you can do. If you have tuning forks, which I don't have any on hand right now, I usually have them all over the place. Changing your frequencies. How do you feel? Now you've been trying because I watched it come on, and you were holding your points, or you're holding your head, you're trying to work, you couldn't get your shit together, and we thank you for being vulnerable, being on display, for the showing, and Kevin obviously is getting something out of it, and so making a difference in one person's world is amazing. And it's not a Swarovski crystal. I can't remember the name of the kind of crystal, but anyway, thank you, Amy. How do you feel?
I feel better. My head's still spinny, but...
Well, a lot of times your head's going to feel spinny. And the reason that your head's spinning is because you're trying to check out at the same time your gallbladder says that I'm spinning out. Now, that has to do, you haven't got the one thing that you want from me. What is that? Can't we just have things the same way as we did before? The total acceptance. And you know what I'm trying to tell you. Have you healed your shit? I'm trying. Okay. So let me just reset. You have to be responsible for the energies you put in the space. You have to be responsible for the energy you project. It has to do with responsibility towards yourself. And I live at a certain frequency. And as she was dropping to go learn her lesson and she went into the dark night of the soul. She kept going deeper and deeper and deeper because she has to heal it out. I can't play in that arena. I can give you some things that says I will not, but I can't enable it. I can't just keep feeding you. I will not be responsible for that. So I love you. Heal. I gave you tools. There's tons of tools. There's no excuse. You got to look at your shit. You got to face it. You got to. This is where you have to begin to learn to trust what you've learned. Now, she has been learning, but has she applied it? Yeah, I can hear it in her language. I can hear it in the way. Oh my God! I'm out of control! Can she get over the overwhelm? Can she heal those particular things? Yes, yes, and yes. Can she rest before she's falling? Where people just fall, hit, clap? No, she can. Okay. Do I want to go back the old way?
Fuck no.
All right, fine. Jumps out. Oh, got to stop again. Okay, so be patient with yourself, because your little child's running to the end of their time and going, I want a particular outcome. I want Brenda back. And you need to go on in and take that little child and say, I love you. Let me give you a coping tool, because you can't handle your emotions. You don't know what emotion it is. Let me help you what emotion it is. And here's a tool we're going to do together. Copy mama, copy mama. And what will happen is eventually the little child will go, well, that works. I like that. Oh, well, I don't have any problems, and just goes and plays. That's what you want the result to be. Don't force it. You'd be amazed at how you can get there. So as we breathe in. Anyways, I was just trying to read what Vicki wrote when my eyesight's not letting have it. Yes. We'll look at that. See, the thing is that the new group that's coming in, starting in April, I just don't know the day. It'll be a launching date, and it is a Medicine Woman Solution Tribe, and this is members only. She's going through her shit, man. Which means you have particular questions. She's probably already been there, done that, and she can help you get out of it. So these people are really living a deep amount of hell, and they're going through it fast with tools so that they can come out the other side. Now, you will go as fast as you need to go. They're learning how to identify themselves. We're also going to have classes. And because they've going already through a particular class, they can tell you, oh, dude, these particular steps they've already gone through because they didn't know they needed it. And when they started to, because they were hand selected by spirit. And they're like, yeah, I'll do this. Have they grown? Vicky's one of them. You know, you got this. And I trust in you and I believe in you and you got this. And I know I have watched you guys grow. You've got this. You know, you can always come to me, make an appointment, take that extra step. We also see, because they're already taking a class, they also have their own support group. I will interject from time to time. That's what I will check in and I will answer. And even my husband's voice is going to probably pop in from time to time because a male perspective of going through this, he has to live with me. So he has to, you know, he knows what's happening, but he also doesn't want to go back to hell. So he's working his ass off too. We're going to get there together. We're creating a whole new world that we're living in. Can we do it? Yes. You just have to understand and be patient with yourself that you may not see things right away. And when you begin to see them, you can't unsee them. And as long as the ego loses its power and you take your power off it and you put it where it belongs in your authentic self. So like I said, that usually the first class will either be the source point self-healing classes, or you know, simultaneously it could be identifying your authentic self. You're going to get there. And you're already getting a discount. And Kevin, yes, the accountant has come back and told me that I can come up with a plan where you can buy a lot of 6, which is 30-minute sessions. 6 of those, you get a discount. And if you buy an hour session, it was either an hour session or it was a 90-minute session. I have to go back and look at 6 of those at once. So for 20, and I may go for 25. But it's, and sometimes if we really are going over, then, you know, then we say, okay, great. And then we turn around and I will ask you, do you want to go longer? Because if I feel like it's going to be more than a couple minutes, I will ask. I don't want to leave you hanging, but at the same time, there has to be a balance of karma at all times. Okay, Ames, you better? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're not as inner crying. You're like, food for thought. Now, is your head is spinning? If it is, understand a little Wayne Cook will start to balance. You're like, but that never works, because your inner child is trying to throw you off balance. Okay? It's throwing your whole body off, but that's okay. So do a little bit of Wayne Cook. And now I'm going to take it back into the other view. And we thank Amy for doing this, as I need to.
You crush it.
Oh my God, I got to get all
pull them in, and it crosses your.
I'm sorry. I mean, see how it is confusing when somebody's doing this.
Brainwaves and energies.
Can't get it together. It's hilarious. Not as easy, you know. It's a little icon in the corner, but it's moving. It's doing this and that, and it's hard to concentrate sometimes. Now, isn't it, Miss Ames?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not blaming you or anything like that. It's just that it takes a lot of work to focus, but you did really good. Now we're going to take, and I got to get my screen back into where it needs to belong. I know that there is some 1 minute out there, and we will get to them. Thank you for listening and sharing and growing.
Hey, I completely forgot where we left off. Did we do Vicky?
Yes.
Okay, then.
And because sometimes running all these boards can be a bit confusing.
Would like
who?
Just Lillian.
Lillian is sad. Lillian, your heart's been breaking. Because you are a social butterfly to some degree. There's a part of you that you know, you love and you love this energy, but there's a part of you that's wrapping up L&D, left wrist, first position, nice and deep, and notice that you got a heartache. Notice what's going on. Notice the sadness, because you have to show up differently, and towards yourself, your vibration has changed towards yourself to the point where you feel overwhelmed. Overwhelmed because life is the way it is, and now it's different. And it's like, it made sense when you have to go out and get a job, you got to do this, you got to pay rent. But now it's like the rules have changed so dramatically. It bothers you. So L1D, sweetheart. Next.
Goofy.
Goofy. Okay. You're taking in somebody else's petrified, which makes that worse. And then towards yourself, you have a habit that's about feeling overpowered. So you can kind of address your environment and the way it is. This is how I'm supposed to act. But now that the environment is more overpowering, more overwhelming, how do you fit into that? I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to start putting your finger in your belly button and your forehead. You need to really start to balance that aura. Because when the central meridian's down, what you need to do is zip it up. Because that is about vulnerability. If this is down, you're going to feel very much shame or paranoia. You need to build these up. Bring these two together, because we don't need guilt and shame to control us. We don't need any of that pain. You need to zip it up, hook it up, and go to the website, look at the tools. You may have to do Celtic weave and connecting heaven and earth to kick out the energies, because you do get overpowered. Next.
Diana.
Miss Diana. Now, I'm supposed to look at the time for some reason. Okay, Miss Diana. Your triple warmer is going off, and it seems to be very over. And I'm going to check your left brain, right brain, left brain. Left brain's under. It needs some energy. Left hemisphere is asking, because you feel overpowered. When the incident that occurred to you when you were 31, your brain cycles every 90 minutes. Your brain cycles. Well, this was caught in and one of the things, the left brain is like, oh my God, defenses to protect you. So your left brain is holding it, and it's stuck in the dark night of the soul. So what I need you to do with your left brain is that is that correct? Is that you're going to have to go into, really? So you said Li, okay? I think it's Li4. That's the source point. They want you to use a magnet, then rub it. The second thing you're going to do on top of that is that you're going to, remember, it's all on, what side did I just say it was, Amy? Left or right? Left, I think it was. Left side, you want to go to right? No, left side only. You're going to go to the heart. You're going to use a magnet there, and then you're going to rub 30 times there, just the left side. See what happens. We got to get this brain to be balanced. When the brain begins to balance, there's one more point. Small intestines. So SI, and you're going to use a magnet and then rub it good 30 times. You may have to rub these ones maybe 30 times, maybe 3 times in a row for a child. When that happens, it throws you off. Now I'm looking left side, right side, what you do towards yourself. So you're learning that the broadcast message is that just behave, be quiet, don't let anybody see me. Oh my God, okay. What does that mean? It just means that you're stressed. So without realizing it, miles away, next room, whatever it is, just saying the word bro, brother, whatever, all of a sudden it'll throw you in a tizzy. So what's going to happen is that you're waiting for the scorn. Immediately, your governing meridian goes down. What I want you to do is I want you to hold these 2 points and stay there and think of your brother. While you're holding this one, I want you deliberately, so you get your finger in your belly button, push in, lift up. I want you to deliberately hold this and think of your brother, think of the scorns, think of all that, and put it on a scale from 0 to 10, 10 being the worst, and stay there until it gets to 0. And then you can let go and see what happens, because I have a feeling over and over. Okay, next.
Tilly has paid.
Oh, sweet niblets. Yay.
And I'm waiting for her response as to whether she wants to come live or not.
Okay. Why, yes, she did. Miss Pilly did pay. Look at her. Yay, yay, yay. I love paid ones. Now, again, while we're waiting for
these physical ailments.
That's a huge one. Now, hopefully now you did ignore the first email. That's the second one.
That is the second one, yeah.
Just want to make sure, Kevin. All right, now, it's a lot in a minute, but we'll find out. Now, first of all, how you're going to help see this is that your child, your inner child at 3 years old, that is where it's mimicking, that is what it's doing, and it looked up to her at one point. So therefore, sometimes when we look up to certain people, we are going to take on that particular thing. If we love them and we cherish them very much, we will take it on. But if in the meantime, something happened and you suppress that particular part and only remember the good stuff, then that can mess up as well. Now, here's an interesting thing. You felt awkward. Something occurred where you felt awkward. The main thing that child needs to begin to heal is that the way that you got connected was scorn. Okay, does this make any sense? Like love equals scorn. My attention with love is that I'm supposed to be scorned. And without realizing it, this is how your mirror consciousness says that you're supposed to be adult. So we need to take that little child and you're going to go inside and you're going to talk to the little child and you say, okay, I'm going to heal how I thought I'm supposed to remain irrelevant. In order to be loved, I have to be irrelevant. Now, this is going to coincide with your monk because the monk's like going, well, you're supposed to be irrelevant and da-da-da-da-da. But so slowly just go in and talk to that inner child. I'd walk you through it, but quickly you can go in and just talk to the child. Don't assume, ask, and if it needs to blow something up, you're in control. Be the parent that's there. Help this child learn to, how would you like put all of the fear into a balloon, then pop it, and then it disappears. You play. Help that child cope, handle, deal, and pacify, but you'd be surprised you get there. Okay, Miss Aimster, have you found any more about Peely?
Just
back and forth.
The feet. Just in the feet.
In the feet. Okay. You got it. She's kind of quiet today. She's sitting back just watching. And I know you know it's your mother. She's just like this. So by doing that, she's now saying, well, get the cards. Oh, get the cards. Okay, Amy, I'm going to stop the timer. And I need you to come on and maybe talk about something. No, she's like, say what? Look at my lip go up. I'm like, say what? Okay. Pick, oh my God. See what you can do. I don't know. Grab a card, teach them, whatever. I have to go get something because her mother is going to keep pushing me if I don't do it. So I'm just going to be a good girl and go get the darn thing. She's really good at that. Okay? Just going back.
And environment is the card. I transform my life by transforming the space in which I live and work. And it's a picture of, it looks like the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. It's beautiful.
Eyes are back, but let's see it. Oh, that is very pretty. The rest of you in other lands, you can't see it, but that's okay. No big deal. Okay, so I'm back, and here I am. So what did I have to go get for Miss Pilly? Because Mama said so. Mama said so. Well, Mama's always right? She's so funny. Okay, so that's what she wants me to do is we're going to do, excuse me here. We're going to pick, really? You're making this complicated, woman. No, I'm not. Get it together. Oh, she'd become English. What we're going to do is we're going to pull a yin and a yang. First thing is yin. As we put up the yin, it's the Queen of Scrolls. And the Queen of Scrolls, in this case, talks about, not that, holds a scroll as it stands in front. And my button stands in front of a, why'd you just take my eyesight away? A sunlight archway around her and swirls. Oh, God. The queen is a woman of a higher mind. Darn woman. Just know that you have confidence. You're moving into this way. You have this already. As the yin has this. She's saying, I have this. The problem with that is that she says the agenda part of her is what she's doing. And as I pull through, she is pulling, trying to find universal compassion. And as she's trying to find that universal compassion, as at the level of where she's at, and in an empath, for all that's around you, universal understanding and acceptance on a non-judgmental level. So she knows to take it to become that next part herself. She has to go into non-judgment and look at the self, the program that needs to be taken care of, and pull it out. By doing that, we're going to look. And under yin, Pili, I want you to be able to tell me whether it is mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. You have 4 choices. Which 2 do you want for her? Mental, emotional, physical, or spiritual. And when you do that direction, so her yin side is learning to find how to be compassionate with herself, not to judge herself so harshly. And Amy will let, oh, Amy, you're muted. Amy will let me know when you see Pili do that. Because
Emotional and spiritual.
Emotional, the first one is the 2 keys of treasure. Woman, what is wrong with you in my eyesight? You might have to back away because literally you're making it difficult to see anything. That obviously has been robbed and plundered. Behind him, a stream of light shines from below the lid of the unbroken chest that rest at the small table. The only piece of furniture in the room that hasn't been touched. Okay, it's a small table. This card represents a great loss of disappointment in your life right now. So when you are looking at yourself, what feels like this great loss and disappointment? What is it that you've been focusing on? What have you been doing that you don't understand? That's the emotional. There's a great loss. It's a disappointment. Maybe you need to work on healing loss and disappointment out of your system. The spiritual aspects of this, it's in reverse, and it is the 4 of forces. And in this case, the 4 of forces has to do with receiving the puts autumn in the upper position. Oh, okay. It reveals that the cycle of harvest and perhaps great abundance is coming to you. You will certainly be called upon to gather upon the results of action you're taking in the past. So spiritually, you're learning how to gather the goodness, but you can't do it if your block is going to be about, about loss and disappointment. So you are literally getting blocked. And we don't have time to do the other because I had no idea, but the yang side, just real quick, is about dealing with past unknown. So if you don't know your past, you're starting to say, yes, I do. I'm kind of feeling what my path is about. If we were to look at the mental aspect, it is about learning how to heal thyself. And you do have the tools. Your innate already does. But you have to mentally connect with that. And on a physical level, you are learning to be more in charge of that physical. Of that one, just real quick, of the yang side, that one is about having the ability to a place of spirit. You need to go inside. Says the earth mother, our point of contact with the material realm. This energy nurtures the soul and generates the flowering of the energies of life. You wake to see the real world. So you physically are learning to wake up to see the world around you. You're learning. You're getting there. Okay? You are. Just looking at things around me. Throw that there. And now who's next?
I already got nothing.
Okay. Alrighty, you guys have been, you guys are really good. I'm impressed. You have learned a lot today, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Pass that on. Move it forward. Amy's still doing this, sweetheart. I think he did. I happen.
No, it's gone.
Okay, me and my new girlfriend, Melanie, has been doing very well. I do believe things are progressing in the right direction. Now, put a timestamp for James because I don't know if he's come back yet or not. Things are progressing in the right direction, question mark. Even though the energy they are at the last couple of, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. So James, we're going to look at this direction. And the thing I'm going to look at, how would you want him to do this? Give me a second to think how to help James. I've got a lot of things running into my head. So I'm going to take a together, because I'm going to ask Spirit, are you doing things together? Or is it soulful? Excuse me. There's an indigestion issue there. You can't find the piece. Why can't you find the piece? Okay, so they're saying they want you to release something, so you can't find the piece. So now I'm going to find out just a little bit more about what that is. Yes, is this what you want? Okay, so to make sure you guys can grow together, what is this thing that needs to be released? And it is in reverse, 5 of Scrolls. 5 of Scrolls. Okay, to find it, it's in reverse. It says, too many things are happening at once, and you may be confused about which to do. So many alternatives lie before you that you hesitate to act on any of them. It is time to make a choice and focus on one thing. Okay, so because of the coronavirus, because of all that, it is interfering. Like, what are you supposed to do? What direction you're supposed to go, and how to develop US. Because gallbladder is about that personal growth. And one of the things that's happening, James, turn on the freaking timer further. And okay, so have you been taken for granted before? There's a party that says, I don't want to go in that direction. The other one says, I have this awkward feeling, and then I feel like I have to, I am always the enemy. Okay, so they're saying that in the relationship, everything will be going good, and all of a sudden, something will trigger, and this will happen. And as I'm looking at this, it is being blamed. Okay, now what's happening? So we're going to take care of the reactionary aspect of yourself. Going back to gallbladder. I'm under. So you're under pressure and petrified. So just James, for 1 second, please note, did you feel, hopefully James isn't gone. Do you feel, James, that you've been under pressure always to be something your mother wanted you to be, your dad wanted to be, what your sister wanted to be? What did James want to be? Because the under pressure of energy of being more mischievous, because that's just in their nature, but they didn't understand you. Are you under pressure to make something of yourself? Oh, there's James. Okay. It's the feeling of under pressure. 1, I see all these people. I have to show up a certain way. Without knowing it, you've grown up, and it's like, now I'm a dad. Now I have to be serious. And now you're under pressure with yourself. The little boy that's inside is saying, I have low self-esteem. That's just all there is to it. And I don't know how to change it. Well, James, you're going to hold L1D, left wrist, first position deep. And you're going to sit there and you're going to measure low self-esteem. Sometimes depression feels like low self-esteem. Or you feel attacked 24/7 no matter what's happening, and that feeling that you have to fight back, that is a form of low self-esteem. And so basically, how does James know about low self-esteem? How does James know to go back there? How, and so you're going to be on a journey of not just using L1D. Okay. You're going to be on this journey of going, oh shit, there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it's rearing its ugly head. When you begin to see them, you then can apply L1D. The other point you're going to apply is L2S, because the other part of you is that you have low self-esteem, but it causes you to put them up. It's like you want to resent what people say, and you want to fight back, and it's like I got to prove to you I'm not, and you get frustrated, and you're disappointed, and you're angry at yourself and at others because they can't see that you are doing your best. Okay, you're trying to life will happen. Now you're fighting in all directions. So L1D and L2S. Okay, you got this. You can really do this, James. Now, as you begin to really look at it, notice if you ever felt petrified, I mean, literally petrified, yourself looking at a picture. It's like you're looking at a photograph. You're here. You can kind of see yourself looking at yourself, and it'd be a snapshot of a behavior that you're doing. Well, in this case, you're looking at how petrified you are about something. They said that's good. Once you do that, then you can hold R3S, right wrist, third position, nice and soft. Because you need to get that snapshot completely out of your mind. So if it's right there and you're holding that point, I want you to imagine that you're pulling it out, making it small until it disappears. If it's in a certain direction, pull it out, back and forth. However you do it, get it out, James. Because that does not need to stop you anymore. Because I know you can do this. I know you can, James. So somebody else has sent an email. Who is it?
Monica, I have not received it. I don't know what's going on.
That's fine. Monica, what do you want to talk about real quick? Anybody? This is an open forum now at the end. I'm looking and Amy's looking. We're not having to expect emails. You can go ahead and just say, please me, I'd like a reading. And I'm looking in everybody and all of the energies of the rooms. Monica, okay, even if you tried to send now, that camera is probably missing half of it. Oh, no, that's right. This one is the one that's wrong. God bless it. And so anyways, the point is see, now this camera moved. Now everybody's missing the M. So chances are it could be sent wrong. Monica wanted to talk about, and I don't know, we'll give you your reading. James, you're welcome. He's driving truck. Yeah. We need our truckers out there to help us. Wow, we were running 18-hour days because of this virus. Ugh, but we'll do what you say. You are the best. Love you. Oh, I love you too, James. You can do this when you get your downtime, whatever it is. We appreciate you driving truck. All those people that work real hard.
You
know, we appreciate you. Oh, Pilly says, yes, Brenda's great. I love you too, Pilly. Monica, where are you? If you're there, please. I would love to give you a reading. I'm assuming if you tried to email, you would, So she's going to, Amy's going to look in the trash box. She's going to look in the spam box, and she'll just double check on that as well. Anybody else says that they want a reading? Look at that, James. Vicky says, thank you for the hard work, James. No matter it is what you're hauling, you're working.
Nope, none of them.
Okay. Monica, hopefully you can just tune in. And if Monica, put the timestamp, Amy, for me, because I'm going to give one regardless. That there is, there's so much of energy of people putting their shit in your way. You got to live their way. Their way is this way. Everybody's fearful. You can feel it. Oh, she's opened anything. She found her. Okay, so here's the thing. Because of that, it says that learning to express your love is not as easy as you'd like to. And it's like, what do I attract in? How can you attract in? It's like you can't have sex. You have to wash your hands romantically to express your love. And you can learn to attract that wonderful moment. But there's a part of you that has a great amount of doubt. As I'm looking at that particular doubt, it has to do with not just this pandemic, but it's an issue about what it is you do with it's called the dark night of the soul, which means do you have a particular program that's ready to go away, but you don't want it to go away, and it has a little bit of worry, that's holding it in place. And it has a lot to do with I'm not the enemy. Okay. There's another. So if there's a Brenda out there as well, a Brenda, a Rita, okay, don't even try. If you have asked, and I can't find it because sometimes the screen does not show it. If you're still here and you want one, say it. You want it. I will give it to you. This is an open forum. Lillian says, I wanted to thank you for tonight's teaching. I learned a lot with you and Amy. Wonderful. Thank you, Lillian. We appreciate that. So again, anybody in these rooms that have not had a reading that wants one, we are going to double check. Okay. A Berenda, because see, I did not see that name. And
I did not. Maybe.
Then I can't get it to him. So did you, Pilly, do you know this, Brenda? Okay, because if you know somebody, I mean, I'm not always the one to give 1,000 readings all the way out to everybody. But if you're something, she was watching. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Oh, that was very nice of you. She is my worker. She is my worker. Okay. Then you can pass this on. You can look at the timestamp and Amy can give you the timestamp and you can pass it on to her. So yes, I could do that. If that's what you feel, I could do that for you.
I got your first email, Philly. Anything from Spirit or what Mom wants.
Okay, but we gave one to Pilly, didn't we? She paid.
We paid, yes.
We're looking for Brenda. Brenda's energy. Okay, so she's like, I don't know. I heard the word standoffish, a little bit of petrified. This is a pattern that, and they're showing me it's kind of just like stands there. And I don't even know if she's even aware of it. She had a hysterical moment in her life when she was 4 years old, which means something bad happened, was so shocking that you rejected it, and then you're happy, and the next minute you're crying, the next minute you're happy, the next minute you're crying. So there's this up and down that happens, and they said what causes the action of an obsession. So does she obsessively think? And because of those moments, it causes the thinking to be too much. Not sure how to calm it down because that was her. So she needs to heal out humiliation. If she doesn't know anything about healing tools, then I would definitely say to tap out, even though I feel humiliation, put it on a scale from 0 to 10, oh my God. And then she can remember that humiliation. Then you can go focus on the picture, begin to do EFT and tap it out. And getting into the picture now, see, set up an appointment with me would be better because then I can get all of a sudden she'll like, oh, there it looks like familiar of humiliation. Tap it out, tap it out. Okay, Monica says, I'm not sure what I was supposed to do. It stopped in the middle of my reading. Well, actually, it stopped because your minute was up. I don't remember what the reading it was. So
2:19 is our timestamp.
Right, but it stopped because I talked in the next breath to somebody else. She feels like there was more to that and she wasn't sure what to do afterwards. I was just saying, well, the minute was up. Wendy. So Wendy, what we're going to do is, wow, everybody has the theology response. And it has to do with the words act mean. And it is, the feeling inside is an inability to put into words or describe the emotions that is happening. So it literally feels solid, petrified. It's like, and if I say, well, what age is that? And they're going to say, go to 6 years old. It's something that you had to learn to do towards yourself, because doing something towards yourself was that you became overbearing towards yourself. If you can stop being overbearing, they says, you would feel vulnerable and you hated that feeling. So you'd learn to be, did you see that orb just go by? Anyway, an overbearing. So tap into getting rid of overbearing. Monica feels incomplete, so give Monica a timestamp. And we're going to go a little bit further. They said, notice that, have you ever felt unstable? You know, something just doesn't feel, you know, and then they're saying that you feel hopelessness. A feeling of hopelessness kind of starts running the GPS. And this is part of what's happening to point. Just this alone, touching here, here, and here, is going to go, oh my God, yes, I do feel hopeless. I don't have the answers. I don't have the tools. I feel, bring it down. And what will happen is that when you get to 0, you won't have to worry, because your body will start to transform, get through this, and you can get your body and everything to come back into stabilization. Hey, chant my name away. Billy says, every time I talk about you and your work, I have to say your whole name so people don't get me confused with Brenda, my worker. Brenda Jane Power. She's a medicine woman. She does medicine woman reveal. I'm sorry, I'm just teasing Billy. But yes, I had to practice in the mirror too, because that's a lot of mouthful, man. You know, or medicine woman Brenda. But yeah, just, you know, that's that. Okay, you guys are great. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Monica, hopefully you didn't disappear. Hopefully you got that last part. If not, we got the name there. Hopefully we can connect into it. Send her the timestamp. If you could do that right now before we end it. Say we gave you an extra reading.
Oh, she's here.
Oh, good. Yeah, and sometimes you can't get it out in a minute, and Wendy says makes sense, especially the age 6 part. Yeah, it's amazing how those moments really just create this moment we have as an adult. Anything that's, here's your clue. Okay. If you have an emotions, anything that's negative, understand it's an end result of a past experience. So now we have to go to the past. If we can find the past, find the experience, and heal that age by healing parts of your past. All right, you guys are great. Remember, share away, tell people, get it out there. We're creating a movement. We're creating a tribe so that you can see what kind of classes you want to take. Talk to these experienced people that are on the same journey as all the rest of us of waking up. I cannot say it enough. You need to find a way to connect so we can all remember how to walk each other home with grace and begin to make a difference in this planet. And we can do that by making a difference with ourselves and begin to heal those programs. And I really appreciate all of you. And you have no idea how much I do. Now, remember, I have it tomorrow night, my time, Aussie time, I have a show. So it'll be the crack ass dawn for Wednesday. And so that is usually about this time right here. And that's more of a healing one where we dive into doing more of the healing tools. But keep looking forward to it, because by April, we should start having some classes, and we should start having the tribe. You can only be there by membership only. Now, those that have paid today, James, you are in the box. Amy, you still give me that list so I can contact these people so that they can be in there. If you have paid, Pilly, you are in the box. You have a chance to win. And what is it that my thing says? I can't remember how many minutes. I think it's 15 minutes, and that's a really good, beautiful gift that can give you. But the thing is that I would like to give it to you here live. And that means you can, now, if you guys have a little shell about you, when you don't think about other people, like Kevin will get on and like, I love all you guys, but I'm a little busy. I got to focus on me, you see? And it's like, yes, Kevin, go, go, go. You know, and again, it's important that you can do this. But you don't. So you could win 15 minutes with me on any topic that you want, doing the different healings, whatever it is. But you can do this. You don't have to be left alone. We have a new person that just popped in the room. Michelle! Okay, so we have to give you a reading before we go, because we're just about ready to give it go. But no, Michelle's here. We got to give it. Okay. I think that's enough excitement. What do you think? Jeez. What are we doing? No cards. Get excited. Yay! Okay, so there. Apparently, we have all the energy coming through. Michelle, you've been feeling uncomfortable? Oh, so you beginning to notice that I want to move from here to here. Comfort zone? No comfort zone. No comfort zone. Uncomfortable. I might go back to my comfort zone. But you're beginning to realize, no, I'm going to go a little bit further. And so I said, you got to check your stability. Stable, unstable. Stable, even though you don't like it. And then you go into the uncomfortable. It's a little unstable. They said easily enough that you can notice that when you're out here, you can feel people feeling like they're lofty. And that is because your meridians are down. Finger, belly button, forehead, push in, lift up and go, ha, ha, ha. Next I will have you scratching your armpit and hopping on one foot. No. So how is your sun, my dear? You'll have to tell me because right now I'm sending an energy field here. So keep it there and do all out of your comfort zone. Into the uncomfort zone, you actually begin to see the mirror. Because when this meridian goes down, these two meridians split, you can feel that you have to be overbearing towards yourself. They said, you got to wake up and realize that you can build up that low self-esteem if you have any left and turn it around because the adult you is not the one that has the issue. It is your 14-year-old self. So going back to that 14-year-old self, feeling that low self-esteem and heal that out so that it can support you. Yeah. Yeah, he worries me. They have, interestingly enough, less of, well, we have light workers all the time, but the thing is that I was born in a family where I'm the indigo or whatever it is, and they're not. So I'm, but then yet they're still human and they still hold a lot of those low self-esteem, or they're trying to discover themselves. It's a lot of the hormone stuff that's happening. But again, it is to look in and say, I trust. Like I love my kids and I trust that whatever it is they're going to go through, they're going to go through. And I'm going to show me with grace and ease, show me what, and then all of a sudden I'll get this message or I'll see something and spirit will literally show me that, hey, they got this. That's unnecessary worry. And unnecessary worry goes into the low self-esteem of trying to help somebody. And so then I will go in and like, okay, I'm going to heal this shit just so that I can begin to move forward. Okay. That's what we're doing. If you are interested in any classes we're learning how to communicate. So before we go, just understand, like Amy is one of the moderators and Vicky and all these other wonderful people, the founders are moderators and I'm in there too, but not as often. So they're going to keep me alerted. So when you write something, it has to go through them so that they can see it, so they can answer it, or they can give it to me because you are that important. It's not that you're being blocked or any of that. It is approval because they want to make sure that if you're going to be in that space, you feel that you're heard and that it can be addressed in a certain way. Now, if people are going to talk in a non-judgmental way, we got to make sure it doesn't hurt anybody because it's got to be about community standards of a non-judgmental space. But don't worry when you write because it's not about judging you. It's about helping you see how to wake up, how to see the mirror, how to do all this. So we're learning how to move in a new grace and ease space. Sue needs a card. Sue says, what are you getting off so I can have my appointment? Sue, I'm coming. I'm coming, Sue. I'm coming. Okay. Sheesh. Sue says, see, it's coming sideways. It wasn't upside or right. It says, trust, Sue. That's your card. You need is trust. All right. We got to get you back into balance. That's what we need to do. And I am going to say, hasta la vista. See you later. How we want to do this. We are going to say resolve to evolve.
Heal instead of deal.
You feel it to heal it.
You can heal that.
And resolve. So do we miss one? Resolve to evolve, heal instead of deal. You can heal it, feel it to heal it. We got it. And all together we say, stay blessed. And that is so important. Oh, well, that's not a graceful exit. Don't have the right button up. Okay. Love ya. Bye. Oh, no, it is. Ha ha. All right. Bye. I was looking at the wrong screen, woman.